Well, hello, fabulous people. Hello, hello, hello. Come into the room for day 4 of our LinkedIn Authority Formula training. Actually, we're day 3. I'm skipping ahead, aren't I? But welcome, welcome, welcome. You know the question that I always have for you, no matter what. Did you do your homework? Did you update your headline? Did you choose a specific headline that you needed? And if you have not seen day 2 already, then I would still recommend you watch this, but go back and watch day 2 because it's a very key piece of the puzzle on LinkedIn. And that's building out a profile that's going to work wonderfully for you. So comment in chat and comment in the chat. Let me know if you did your homework. We want to know if you updated your headline, how you feel about it now. And while you're doing that, I'll introduce myself in case this is your day 1. We are running a 5-day LinkedIn Authority formula. It's a formula I've come up with on how you can leverage LinkedIn to stand out as an authority and an industry leader so you can secure more business that are pre-sold on working with you. And I'm Deborah Ashley, the LinkedIn Black Belt, and I am your host of these series. And what I pretty much do is I help my clients leverage LinkedIn as a tool to do just that. So I want people to stop thinking about LinkedIn as this one-all to do all. You have your entire marketing strategy, your entire marketing plan, and you want to think about LinkedIn as a piece of that plan. And especially in 2021, it's an integral part of your plan, right? So when you think about how to budget into your LinkedIn marketing strategy, you have to think about a piece of the budget that maybe you didn't even consider, like last year or even the year before. So before we begin day 3, which is all about building that high-powered network, we are going to kind of go over a little bit of what we covered yesterday, because like I said, it's a very integral part. So let's first check out to see who did their homework. So John Carter III, he's on it. He just got done with day 1 and 2. I love the fact that you guys are consistent, that you are committed, and that you're dedicated to your success. Because just by showing up every single day, and I made it specific between 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time, it could be a lunchtime for you. It could be just a time to take a break. And if this is part of your business or the organization, if you're on the marketing team, or if you run a business and this is part of your business, then it's just another piece of professional development, right? It's professional development. So we have Kim is loving her new profile. Paul said he did his homework and he thanks me for my expertise. You are so very welcome. You're so very welcome. One thing I want to let you guys know, let's kind of go over some housekeeping. We always talk about housekeeping, right? I'd love for you to leverage to make sure you're having conversations with your advisors, your concierge. They are here to help this process go a lot smoother for you as you think things out. Now, don't forget, they are here to make sure that you have your workbooks, to make sure that you have access to your the link for the live video, just in case you can't watch it right now. And then obviously, if you want strategy, if you want help with your profile, if you want to figure out how to leverage LinkedIn and include it into your marketing plan, then feel free to reach out to me. That's what I help my clients with, clearly. I have some links that I left. It's going to make it a lot easier. But if you'd like to book a call or a session with me to map out a plan, just go to meetwithdeborah.com. Very easy. No www. meetwithdeborah.com. And if you'd like to book a training for your team, or you'd like me to do some consulting work, there is another form that I have in the actual content part of this. So let us get started, but don't forget to utilize your concierge if you're looking for a workbook, if you are looking to book a call with me and you don't have the link, if you need to figure out where is day 1 or where is day 2, where's the homework, where is the link to the replay, definitely reach out to them, okay? They're there to help you. So before we start, I hope everyone has their workbook. Before we start day 3, it's going to be very focused on taking action. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this. Before we start day 3, let me go over just a few areas on your profile when you think about setting up and optimizing your profile. I'm going to go through it fairly quickly. It's something you can just sketch down, right? Just like do a shorthand or something. So the areas that you want to focus on with your profile, we're not necessarily looking for an all-star profile. That does not mean your profile is optimized. Remember, I mentioned that number at the end. When you look right below the featured area, you have something called private dashboard. It's going to say search appearances. If you have, and I hate to say it, guys, if you have under 300 on that search appearances, your profile needs work, right? I have to be honest with you, right? Because what's the point of doing the work and putting yourself out there if you're meant to go straight and you're taking like a left or left. So make sure that I want to make sure you're heading in the right direction with your profile, because it could look amazing to you and to even a friend, but the numbers never lie. So in that search appearance column, if it's under 300, yes, your profile needs work. It's not impossible. It doesn't take a long time to get that fixed, but it needs work. Anything over 300, you're really getting good with the optimization. Anything over 500, your profile is fully optimized. If at this point you're not getting people who are reaching out to you to have conversations about how they can work with you versus the spammers. And we're going to talk about how I don't want you to be a spammer, right? If you have the right people who are reaching out to you to inquire about your services versus the spammers who are just looking to pitch you their next shiny object, then you have an optimized profile, right? All right, so let me just go through really, really quickly the sections that would be key for you. We have your name, we have your banner, your cover or your background image. We have your profile picture, and I already went over where your face should be 60% of that circle. We have your professional headline, and we spent a lot of time. If you didn't watch day 3, we spent a lot of time on your professional headline yesterday. We have your location, and I didn't go into location too much, but here's a really cool clue, guys. If you come from a smaller town or municipality, I would say to make sure your location is part of that larger metropolitan area that's part of the town you're in, right? So if you come from a smaller area, because like I mentioned before, day 1, LinkedIn within itself is a search engine. So if someone is looking for an educational consultant in the Baltimore area, and you are, I don't know the small towns within it. Let's say I know Hicksville, New York, right, on Long Island. If I lived in Hicksville, New York, not too many people would probably search for an educational consultant in Hicksville, New York, but they probably would do the New York metropolitan area. So I won't go too much into that, but location, industry, contact information, we covered that, about section, your experience, your website URL or a way for people to get in contact with you, your customized LinkedIn URL, which we discussed yesterday, your current work and your past work, endorsements and skills, recommendations, certifications, and any associations that you're affiliated with. You could be a volunteer, you could be on the board. Make sure you put your volunteer experience, because that's going to be so key. That's going to be so key. So, all right, guys, let us move on to the work of day 3. Does everyone have their notebook out? Before we go on to any questions at all about the LinkedIn profile portion, what I always like to say, when we build out your LinkedIn profile, I'm always about making sure that it's a thought leadership branded profile versus what we see with a lot of people where it's more like a resume, right? So let me just see if there are any other questions. How do I get the recording for day 2? Brianna wants to record it. Okay, what we're going to do, if you want to either scroll down or someone from my team will get you the link for that, okay? All right, fabulous. Diana has it for you. What if you come from the Caribbean? Then you can say like specific areas, Kingston or Montego Bay or anything like that. That's fine. What I would even encourage too, say if you come from the Caribbean, but most of your clients are from the New York area, I would just do the New York area. John made me laugh. John now is going to have that song in my mind. He said, Lord, I need work, 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 work. Too funny. Too funny. Okay, my link for the scheduled appointment, make sure you're not doing www, just meetwithdeborah.com, okay? Meetwithdeborah.com. All right, and then I think someone dropped the link, so that's good. All right. So guys, let's get started. When we talk about your high net worth, your net worth network on LinkedIn, great tongue twister, right? It's pretty much that network that's really going to be almost like a strategic partner with you. So what they're going to do, and you have to reciprocate, what they're going to do is they may talk about you in rooms that you've never been in. And this is after they have complete clarity and trust in the work that you do and then the brand, right? So they will talk about you in the rooms that you've never been in. They will serve to collaborate with you. They will be able to even become clients. So as you can see, there are the 3C formula for this. When you start getting a lot of, and I hear a lot of people say, oh, I have all of these people who connect with me and then they want to pitch me, be very careful. I'm not going to say to be cautious. Be very careful about who you are letting into your network, just like you would into your house, right? You don't have to be that careful. But when you think about, there's going to be 3 C's. When you think about your audience and who you want to network with, think about 3 C's. First person, it's going to be self-explanatory, potential client. So you should know at this point, you should be able to step into a room, have conversation with someone and know right away if they're a potential client, right? So you're going to know right away who is, and this is how you can reach out to someone or they can reach out to you, and you're going to know who's a potential client. The second one is a potential collaborator. So why are collaborators important? Typically, what collaborators have, they have you're sharing this. They have access to the audience that you want to get in front of. They've done work with the audience or the people that you want to get in front of. So it could be anything from, say, a podcast host, a radio show host, an attorney and a realtor together. If anyone comment below, as we go through the list, tell me who you think your potential collaborators are. So we could have a nutritionist, a wellness coach, along with a doctor, an attorney, just people who potentially, if they're part of your audience types, they may have worked with someone else in the past, right? So when we think about, if we're getting dressed to go to the gym, think about, and I'll give you this analogy really quickly. You're wearing socks, you're going to put on your socks before you put on your shoes. So who does your ideal client go to before they start working with you? Who would they potentially need to go to before they start working with you? And then the person that they're working with previously, they may even suggest, listen, I'm just the person who helps you with your estate planning. I am your attorney, but your books, they really need work. And I would suggest that you reach out to so-and-so, right? That's when you think about those collaborators. And of course, it's reciprocal, like I mentioned. So you're going to also have business for them. But maybe the fact that you show up with your expertise and you do an amazing job and you make them look really, really good, because there's nothing better than making someone look really, really good, because they will feel that they owe you, right? Right? So the last C, so the first C, who has the first C and the second C? Help me below. Tell me the first C and the second C. I see we still have some people who want their workbook. All right, we're getting that. First C, your potential clients. And then I'm sure the second C is coming along. The second C is coming along. Collaborators. And then the last C would be champions. And I discussed this. All right, fabulous. Paul was on it. I discussed this a little bit yesterday. You have these amazing champions who fall in love with how you're showing up on LinkedIn. They fall in love with your story. They fall in love with the information that you're putting out. They see how you can be an amazing resource for people that they know within their network. And they start sharing you. They start sharing your information. They share your posts. They talk about you in rooms that you've never been in. They tag people on your post. If that has happened to you before, you have potential champions. They really just want to see you win, right? Because maybe sometimes, and kind of like a mentor-mentee relationship, maybe you remind them of who they were, when they were younger or something like that. But there are reasons that champions come into your life, and to potentially have those people in your network where they see your work, they know your story, because LinkedIn's not just about posting about your industry or the work you do every single day. It's about human to human connection. So the way that you connect with people sometimes would be just to share your story, right? Like for day one, as an example, I told you I left a 20-year marketing career to start my business online. And I had no idea when I first came online that there was all of this, right? I had 200 LinkedIn connections. I've been on LinkedIn for at least 13 years before it's moved over so many times. I've watched the evolution of LinkedIn, but I had 200 connections and I really didn't know what I was doing. I was super intimidated by it. But eventually I was able to build my personal brand, and not just my personal brand, but a brand of trust that other people bring me in front of their audiences. And that, I do the events for corporate, for trainings and teams and things like that. All right. So we have your potential clients, potential collaborators, and potential champions. Now, if we go to the next page, what I would like for you to do, we're going to take about 3 minutes. So just quickly write this, guys. We won't do 3 minutes. We'll do about a minute. I want you to share an example and put it in the chat. And you're going to write it in your workbook afterwards, but put it in the chat. Share one example of your potential client, one example of your potential collaborator, and one example of your potential champion. Who that person would be. So as an example, I'll share 2 examples for me. A potential client for me would be a CMO within an organization who just didn't have that online presence. And because they're a CMO within an organization, people are naturally looking to them on LinkedIn, not just as an industry leader, but that they're going to know everything that's going on, right, in their industry, and they use their thought leadership. Another potential client for me would be a consultant, either within a firm or they have their own consulting practice and they're looking to leverage LinkedIn to build strategic partners or to source out clients for their work. So when we think about a potential collaborator for me, a potential collaborator would be someone who has a podcast that appeals to my audience. And it could be a podcast that's based on, something legal, attorneys, right? If that's part of my audience. And then a potential champion for me would be someone who just has, and I'm not going to name names, but someone who has access to a larger network that on any given day, I wouldn't necessarily have access to, right? So they're going to introduce me into their network. So I want to hear for some people, for Christine. Okay, clients, collaborators, and champions love this. I want you guys to share with me who are the potential clients, collaborators, and champions. I just went through an example with me, so I would love to hear from you. And it might take some time to think about, so I'll see if we have anyone has. All right, so we have someone on the Facebook side. A client would be a boomer who wants to learn how to speak professionally, a collaborator. And so now we have to be able to define, what does speak professionally mean? Because I'm sharing this right now with a bunch of 1,000 people will potentially watch this. My yesterday's live stream was viewed by 1,000 people. So now we want to figure out, what does speak professionally mean? Because if they're watching, maybe you could be their person, right? A collaborator is those who are all speaker bureaus and trainers, right? And then champions, folks who've taken my course and had good results. And then when you think about your champions too, don't forget they have large networks, possibly deep pockets, but they're really their name is really out there for them to be a champion. So, all right, for Stephen said young professional couple 30 to 40 for collaborative CPA. Perfect example for CPA and attorney could be collaborators so that they introduce you to their network and their clients, right? Shirley said for clients, they are DEI and HR senior leaders. For collaborators, DEI and HR consultants, career coaches. And champions would be DEI, HR, and empowerment, event planners, podcast. Shirley, I would even say champions for you would be, say, a CDO, Chief Diversity Officer, right? Because now they're going to bring you into the organization, or a VP of diversity. They would be your champions because they're introducing you into the room and potentially hiring you too. So wonderful, wonderful, guys. All right. If you're ready for the next exercise, before we do that, let's kind of do a mini break. So you guys may not have already seen this, but because of well, I'm not going to say because, I'm guessing it's because of the connection, the heavy connection request that leads afterwards to pitch in. What LinkedIn has done for some people, everyone does not have this restriction. You only get to connect with 100 people a week. But when you think about that, if we're doing it right, if we're doing it based on the potential clients, collaborators, and champions, and we're really getting specific with it, why do you really need to connect with more than, if you know your target audience? I should say that, because not everyone knows their target audience. They hope, right? They throw spaghetti against the wall and hope for the best. But if you really know those specific people, I don't think that you need to have more than 100 people that you're connected with a week. Granted, you're not going to necessarily have all of those people connect with you right away. On any given day, maybe you have 40%, and we'll go over this during the sales machine training tomorrow, but maybe you'll have a good 40% that will connect with you. Maybe out of those people, maybe you have a good 20% that will start having the conversations with you. And then if you've done it right, a good 10% that leads to offline calls, or even higher. Like, I would expect that it would be even higher, but if you're just starting out, which is it's a great amount per week. So I just wanted to kind of like speak to you about that limit. And for some people, they're like freaking out. But I'm like, why? Just get better at your messaging, just get better at your targeting, and get better at how you're presenting yourself, because all you really need are 100 good people a week, if that, right? So let's get into this exercise now, guys. Let me just make sure I have, we're going to stay on this page because it's going to be part of your action steps, but I want you to go into action right now. So we're still on the C number 1, C number 2, C number 3. What I want you to do, and you can hang out with someone who is already in the chat, or if you have identified your person, I want you to go ahead and connect with a potential client, go ahead and connect with a potential collaborator, and go ahead and connect with a potential champion. So like I said, as an example for Shirley's, potential champion could be a chief diversity officer at a company, depends on the company size she's looking for, depends on a few other things. You can even identify location if you wish, right? And we can go into more about that later, but go ahead and comment below and even if you've done either just one, you don't have to do all 3 right now, but I would love for you to be able to do that for your homework. Even look to see who's in the chat. Go ahead and connect with a potential client, potential collaborator, and a potential champion. And then I am going to push you to do something different next, right? So once you've connected with them, if you have your phone, I don't even know where I put my phone. So if you have your phone, you're going to take your phone. Once you connect with them, once they connect with you, because your headline's updated now, so it speaks specifically to their need. So once they connect with you, instead of texting them a message to thank them, you're going to leave them an audio message. Go ahead and let me know in the chat, who has left an audio message for their audience and their connections before? Who has left an audio message before? Let me know. And if you have never had an audio message, or you don't really know how to work it, send me a message and I'm going to go ahead and reply, and I will leave you an audio message, okay? All right, so Kersha, she does audio messages. Fabulous. All right, anyone else? Marta does it. Yeah, people absolutely love it because it's different. Not everyone's doing that, right? So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Kim has done the audio and video. Wonderful. Yeah, that's definitely different. All right, John has done fabulous. So what I want you guys to do is, and we'll leave this for your homework. And if you have any questions, definitely, reach out below. Like I said, reach out to your concierge just to see if you need that replay link, if you need your workbook. But one thing that I want, let's kind of go into your homework, right? We'll make this today really short because we're ramping up for tomorrow. And I want you to come back with that homework, right? So connect with, I have 10 people, guys, but I'm gonna be a little bit easier on you. 10 people for the overachievers, right? Connect with 5 people today, 10 for the overachievers, based on the 3 C's of a high net worth network. So go ahead and connect with those today. For those who, so let's kind of like even talk about, we'll do a prize today in the homework thread. For those who have connected with 10, I want you to go ahead and you're going to comment in the homework thread that you have connected with 10. So as soon as you connect with the 10, based on the 3 C's, go ahead and comment in the homework thread that you have connected with the 10. And we will be doing a giveaway for a tripod and ring light set. Because now it's going to be great for you to start doing video, right? Right? All right, guys, it was wonderful. I really appreciate your time. You have a little bit more of, if you're on your lunch break, you have a little bit more time. But what I would love for you to do before we start for day 4, which is putting all of this together and building out your sales machine, I would love for you to catch up on day 1 and day 2, and then connect with your 10 people, because like I said, everything that we're doing day by day, it builds on top of the other. And we're building out your campaign for you right now, right? So we'll go into more detail tomorrow. If you have any questions, if you'd like to set up a call with me for coaching, for strategy work, go ahead, meetwithdeborah.com. And then if you would like to book me for a training or to work with your team, then you would fill out the form that's in the content in the introduction, okay? All right, guys, I will chat with you later. Thanks for coming, Sherman Lynn. Thanks for coming, John Carter. Thanks, Kersha. I will